How y'all doing today? My name is Ayn. Today's topic of discussion is going to be observing positive, healthy interactions. Observing positive, healthy interactions. When I'm thinking about this topic, I'm thinking about it being the first word of the title of this video. Observing. Observing. Let's think about that for a moment. When you're observing and you're not wrapped all up in it, good or bad, when you're observing, you're sitting back, you're looking at what's going on, you either meditate, think about what's going on. And more often than not, people, whether it's something that may pertain to them, maybe it's an eye-opening experience, they may think about incorporating that up off into their life. Now we have that out the way. We're going to think about, like I said, observing these positive interactions, these positive, healthy interactions. I've done another video not too long ago when I was just talking about bridging the gap between recognizing healthy and then unhealthy. Because all too often, we may know what we should be striving for or what's healthy, but then we know what we really have. And sometimes we don't quite make the connection between what we have may be unhealthy for us and how to bridge that gap into going into that healthy. We might not know how to level out, need to know on what we need to remove or how we need to remove it so we can put something healthy in there. And with you removing it in a healthy manner. Now that I've used healthy about 24 times in the first minute and 45 seconds of this video, when I'm thinking about those interactions, sometimes you, or more often than not, you may not know how to really apply those things up off in your life. And that's the best way for you to learn how to do this and to know what may be the best fit for you is observing how other people are doing it. How often have you heard, whether you're watching a sports game, a movie, something that went down in the news, you watch it play out and then you say in your head, man, I would have done it this way. That would have been a better way of going about doing that. You always hear that hindsight is 20/20. If hindsight is 20/20 on your experiences, that means that you've already went through it. And if you're having some sort of reflection or hindsight on it, man, I could have done it better. But depending on what it was, you may not get a chance to come around and do that again. It may be something potentially life-altering. So it's like it's come and it's gone. And the result of whatever occurred, you're stuck with that consequence. So, with that being said, when you can see these things play out in your own life, and you really don't call attention to that until you see something dramatic or drastic happen elsewhere, what about observing the healthy and the positive things up around you? See, all too often we put emphasis on the negative experiences. That's the reason why a compliment may get you through the day, but a negative experience you may be talking about for 2 weeks. Told 20 people on what happened throughout the course of your lifetime on whatever it may have been. You can always recall back to that. But you may forget that compliment a week later that somebody had given you. Some of that has to do too with people not being able to receive positive things. So you kind of receive it and smile, go on your way up about it, instead of really embracing the fact of something being positive that's been told to you, or recognizing some strength and really digging down deep to see how you can embrace that strength, and just taking time out to notice that this is something else that somebody else noticed about you. But anyways, back to the topic of this video on observing these healthy interactions. Say you're having problems with, I don't know, bickering with people, just being really difficult to deal with, finding yourself constantly in the face of confrontation. Can you observe anybody around you that's not doing that? See how they're getting along? I'm not saying that you have to become these people, but can you just observe from some of these things? Maybe you may be able to learn a few things or so. That's what I'm talking about, observing these healthy interactions. You're in a bad relationship? What does a good relationship look like? Keep in mind, This is going back to you. All too often, people look and see, I need to change the scenery. I need to change the people. Yeah, that can be true in a lot of instances. But what are you contributing? That's the reason why I'm talking about observing, so you can see how you put it back to you. Not you observe and then you put it off on others. Hey, Ayn, you know what I just witnessed? I witnessed, this conversation went down. They walked away. It was a real in-depth, discussion. They walked away. They weren't even mad at each other. That's something you should try to do, Ayn. No, how about you do it? See, this is the reason why you have these type of conversations. These are the reason why things get heated. The way you just got done pointing the finger at me. Now we're into it. This is what I'm talking about. Believe it or not, on that example that I just used, those are very real instances or examples that I've seen time and time again. A few people come to mind when I think of that. They'll say it just like that. You know what this is something that I saw and I witnessed. You should ... filling in with whatever you want to do. Person still being the same them from the day that I've known them. Hadn't changed anything. They're telling you on how you could change. Observe these healthy, positive interactions and see what you can do better. See what it looks like first. So you can dip that toe in the water, take it to yourself, see how you can embrace it and move on and maybe have some healthy, positive interactions on your own. That's the point of this video.